Bow, bow,
Niggas gonna make me
explosions,
kill one of
alarms.
y'all. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Ti versus Tip was like a fucking crazy ass album.
You liked it?
Oh, I love that
No,
shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
nothing was better than Cassidy versus the Hustler, though. Do you remember that?
Yo, that shit was yo.
Everybody has an alter ego versus themselves. Like, wasn't Nicki Minaj like Roman,
Uh,
Nick,
Roman something.
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, like she had, but she got
Everybody,
multiple. Eminem was Slim Shady,
everybody's
but
got
he
to have
had
an alter
multiple
ego.
ones. You know what I mean? Like everybody got like a different name for some different shits for the different ways to get
I feel like
get in their
NLE
bag.
Chopper just did it too. Like
Oh
me
yeah.
versus me or something like that.
Nah, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody could do it better than Cassie, bro. This nigga was spitting bars against himself, bro. That shit was insane,
It
bro.
was a battle versus himself.
And
I
he
think it
did
was
it
like the
like multiple
problem
times too.
versus the
Yeah, the
hustler.
hustler. Yeah.
Crazy.
And then he did, I forget what he did after that. It was the problem versus the hustler. And then he
Mm-hmm.
did another one after that. Oh man, this dude was going off, dog. I was like, yo,
Because that was the
how the
album that
fuck?
had "I'm a Hustler" on it. And
Yeah.
if you from New York or even the tri-state area, the Northeast, like "I'm a Hustler," that joint rang out. Like it was a banger. I think Jay-Z might have had a remix or something, or Swiss Beats might have did a remix and had a bunch of people on it, but "I'm a Hustler"
No,
went off.
no. So what happened? It had a Jay-Z sample in it.
Right, right, but he didn't put a verse on it eventually, or
Oh no, he did. I think he did actually. I think he did. Like the remix. You see, that's when
right.
back
I
then
feel like
people used to do remixes like
yeah.
religiously, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I miss
You
that era when like people would just hop on the song, remix that
facts.
shit, and then just be fucking fire,
It'd be
bro.
like with One Blood with when Game put that out, there was an
That shit
East
was.
Coast one remix, so
Woo.
West Coast remix,
It
down
was
south.
35 different remixes of that
There was a
shit.
reggae remix. There was like that beat just went too hard, but so the Hustler it had I'm a Hustler on it, of course, and then B
Hmm.
Boy Stance. Do you remember B Boy Stance?
That's my
Chilling in the
joint.
cup with my B-boy stance, like something, something.
Yeah,
I forget how it goes, but yeah,
yeah.
this album actually went hard.
Nah,
And it
that.
had a track called 6 Minutes, which was
Oh, him and
Cassidy,
Fabulous.
Lil Wayne, and Fabulous. Now,
Sure.
these dudes is all in their prime during this record, I feel like.
I think all three of
What
them was
year was
tearing the
this?
mixtapes up. There was
Yeah, this is
one year.
2005, so they was all
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah, they
peak.
was in their
So
bag, bro. They was in
Cash
their
just goes
bag.
off for 3 minutes. Wayne goes off for 3 minutes. Fab goes off for 3 minutes. And the beat was hot. It
Them
was a
niggas was
classic.
eating, dog. You know what's crazy? Cassidy on his first album, Split Personality, he
Mhm.
had like this nigga been spitting since the jump, bro. You know what I'm
Facts. He's
saying?
one of those deep lyricists.
Yeah, and even then, like I watched some of his like rap battles that he was doing on URL and shit.
Hmm.
And like I guess the style is different now. Rap, battle rap came, a long way. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
niggas, they doing different schemes now. They doing different plays now. You know what I mean?
It's so
But
performative.
to see Cass get on that stage when he faced Hitman Holla that last time, I ain't gonna
Hmm.
lie, Cass beat that nigga, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And
Hitman.
Hitman Holla is supposed to be like top tier shit, and like he let Cassie get in his head, bro. Yo, he
Facts.
he let Cassie get in his head so bad they was doing a face off. Like you know how like boxes like they face off when they
Right.
weigh each other, right? So
Before the
URL,
match, yeah.
so no, it wasn't URL. It wasn't. I forget who it was. Shout out to you. I
Mm.
wish I remember what it was. But and then
It's a lot of
Cassie
those
got in
names
his
now.
head so much that Hitman went to go grab his backpack to get it to
Get the strap.
to get the strap, bro. And he was just
Yes.
mad tight. And Cass is like, "Yo, what you doing, bro?" He's like, "Why you gonna go in your bag, bro? I don't need a
He couldn't
bag,
take
bro."
the heat. It got too real. Because I think this was around the time where Hitman Holla like put out something, a sex tape with his girl or with his
It
wife or
was
something like
so the
that.
sex tape happened after. Like, cause
Oh,
niggas
okay.
was clowning this nigga, bro. They was like, "Yo, you got beat
Was
by
this
Cassidy."
was this before the shooting then? Or after the shooting? Because I remember someone that ran in Hitman Holla crib and his girl had to get the gun. It was a whole dramatic story.
You know what? That's a good question. Let me check.
So I wonder if he went back to battling after that happened, because I remember she gotten shot like in the eye or something like that, or like in the face. It was like a crazy traumatic story. He was on the phone with her while they were breaking in the house, and she was there.
All right, so that was October 12th, 2021, when the shit got rated.
I think the battle might have been before that, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like the battle was like 2020-ish.
So the battle was 2021. I think it was like April. It was either March or April.
Okay, early in that year, yeah, because it had to be before that, because I don't think he had taken a battle or been back.
No, I don't think he hasn't been back since.
Just like
since
Cass,
since the thing with his girl, and then he put out like all that his close friends got leaked or whatever, and it's just like, nigga, like y'all niggas is crazy.
He put that out. Why are you showing that even to your close friends? Like if you got homies in your close friends.
Nah, he said he got all bitches in your close friends. I'm like, hold on.
So you wanted to show off your sex tape with your wife to other women? Like this all just sounds.
Dog, you know how it is. Liberation these days. Everybody want to be like a freak. Everybody just listen.
Being free is different.
OnlyFans bag.
Being public is a different thing.
But the OnlyFans bag is.
You ain't lying.
And niggas is going to try to see if they can get up on there. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't lying, because I feel like once you got a following, if you can't monetize them in any way, just turn to porn. Turn to porn. Everybody likes some sort of porn one way or another, secretly or publicly. But it's crazy.
It's part of the culture now. You know what I'm saying?
It's good that you did mention Cass doing good in that battle, because I seen him in a battle versus Goods, like when he first came back. He first started, yep. Mm-hmm. And Goods tore that man up. Goods ate that man up. It was looking rough in there, because it was a different format from when Cassidy used to battle back in the day, like on the block, going street to street battling. Like that's like the original form of battle rap. Like but now it's like we have different schemes, and we could tell whole stories, and we got characters in our stories in this rap that we're telling. So it was different, and I think Goods got the best of him.
The bars is written differently. The performance is different, because now like they're like real life poets. Like, you know what I'm saying, when they up on that stage doing their thing. But he definitely got way better, bro. Like if he just slowed, if he I think he just needs to find the right tempo. And once he found that tempo in that battle, fam, like it was and like some of his lines was just crazy, bro. It's crazy.
He has a real strong brand in battle rap, so his name just in the battle, you're gonna want to see what he came up with or what he doing this time. Like just because he was literally battling Freeway like back in the 90s,
made him
like,
put on the beat.
That was a lot.
Cassidy and Freeway need to do a versus, and at the end of the verses they need to have a rematch.
A lot of these kids wouldn't understand. That's like for the deep.
It's not for these little niggas. It's for us, nigga.
Have they did you seen how they did like Jim Jones? No, Locks and Dipset, and that was like for New York.
Yeah,
they need to do like a Philly one. There's no Philly. It would have to be like Meek versus somebody, because unless they do like Beanie Siegel versus Freeway or like.
No, I don't think they would. I don't think Beanie and Freeway would go versus each other, because they're on a lot of their records together.
That's what I'm saying. That's like a whole clique, the state property. So I'm trying to think who else in Philly.
Well, if Dipset went versus the Locks,
okay, so we got Cassidy, Freeway, Beanie Siegel, Black Thought, Lil Uzi is from Philly.
Yeah, but
Young Chris, so the Young Guns. We got, Will Smith, but you're not really gonna put him in there. Kaya, My Neck, My Back, she's from Philly. Trying to think of the biggest. Charlie Baltimore. Little Dicky is from Philly. That's funny. Man, so I don't know. The biggest name is Meek Mill, so it'd have to be like Meek Mill versus Lil Uzi, but that's two different.
That's two
brands
and Uzi's not gonna do that shit. Yeah,
I don't see.
No, because they got to be from the same era. Because when you look at them, like everyone's kind of been in the same time frame,
right?
So like, if you really want to do stay prop, they're going to face. Listen, G Unit versus anybody, bro. G Unit versus everybody, bro.
It would have to be G
you put
Unit
50.
versus.
You put it, I don't know. I don't know if you could put them versus anybody because they was beefing with everybody.
The only thing is, I was gonna say is kind of maybe against like Terror Squad, that'll be good. But Fat Joe kind of did a versus already with Ja Rule. But the thing is too is that even G Unit got its own internal beat, so you couldn't even get them all together to do it, or it would literally just be one person playing the music. So
yeah, because if you put 50, Yayo, Banks, and hopefully
no, we don't count Yayo too much. I would just say 50 Buck and Banks.
Yeah.
As the primary three.
I think they win. I ain't gonna lie. I think they win.
Let's see.
Versus anybody, I think they win. Because Dipset and Locks already did it. Terror Squad. Terror Squad.
I was gonna say Fat Joe kind of did one with Ja Rule a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang, that'll be it's different eras. It's definitely different eras. But as far as New York versus New York,
I think so, yeah.
All the groups I'm seeing are like underground kind of groups, like Flatbush Zombies, Beast Coast.
Maybe that window's closed unless they do somebody else like
Capone and Noriega. Yeah, it would have maybe a West Coast.
I would say State Prop, but I don't know if they don't have no. Well, I don't think they should be beefing now. I think they should have outgrown that. If
they also got beef too, though.
Do they really?
Wait, did you say Terror Squad or? Oh no, I thought you said Terror Squad. I'm sorry.
No, but Terror Squad that was squashed.
No, they had beef within themselves.
Oh,
like Tony Sunshine and then that it was all that thing about Fat Joe not paying Big Pun's family for. It was a whole thing, and Big Pun's wife hates Fat Joe. It's deep. Like he talks about it.
He talked about it on the
right. Yeah. So I was just like, wow.
Because they asked him why won't he make music with his son. He's like,
with the son, yeah. That sucks. And I had that same question about Biggie's son, because Biggie, every time Biggie's like reunion anniversary comes around, his son and daughter, they do something, a poem or freestyle or something. I'm just like, why isn't he like on Bad Boy? Why isn't he like?
Maybe
got an indie deal somewhere.
Maybe don't want to do it.
He does though, because he raps.
Oh, he does.
He does.
Is he good,
raps.
Though?
I think he made a song with Big Pun's son, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
But is he good though? Yo, because
to say
if you a Pun's son, you're Biggie's son. You gotta be up there, bro. You can't just be bullshitting around.
That's a fucked up pressure too. That's a fucked up pressure to have, like just because of who your dad or your parents
were. Like think about Blue. If she becomes an artist, she gotta look up to Beyonce. True. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about artists,
Kendrick's and J. Cole's kids, like
they got a lot. If they decide to do music, they got a big shoes to fill. And the thing is though, like they won't have the same experiences because like it's looking at T.I.'s kids, right?
Different.
One of his sons, like one of them makes beats, one of them is a rapper, but like he's like,
right. Damani is really good too.
He is. He's
actually really good.
But he doesn't have those same street experiences,
right?
You know what I mean? Right. Like his dad. So like how and I guess when you look at Drake gave you the template of what to do. He's like, you'll find something that you can write about and just expound on it multiple times.
We all got troubles and emotions and feelings. Like the thing is when you're an artist and you created your persona around like being a tough guy, then everything you see or say has to come like through a tough lens of like, I'm the toughest and this happened, but I'm still tough. But like when you're just yourself and you can experience things, then whatever you say, you can say, yeah, I saw this and this happened. And you can just speak on it how it is or how it made you feel or your thoughts, but it don't got to be through a certain lens. But yeah, it's tough for celebrities' kids. I can imagine like even a doctor, if you're in a family and your dad's a doctor and then you go and you want to be like an artist, it's like, what the fuck?
Like, what the fuck are you doing, nigga? Yeah. Get the fuck out of my house with that bullshit, nigga. The fuck?
But one
when you're a parent of immigrant, when you're a child of immigrants, that pressure is even more because they ain't shit. They not always in like the top job, but they're looking at you like, nigga, you better
like be right. You go to school, you become an engineer or a doctor, and you save this family and send money back home. Like I can, my family is American. We're mostly Southern, but I can only imagine that immigrant pressure to where it's
that's
like,
just fucking crazy, bro.
I walked through the village on my bare feet and gave up all my belongings just to bring you here so you can make something for us. Like if you fail, then everything I ever did in my life was a fit. Like, bro, that shit will make somebody jump off the roof.
Bro, like I ain't gonna lie, when I decided to go to school for like audio production and shit, I got so much shit.
I can only imagine. Mom was like, "You're not gonna be an engineer. You're not gonna be pre-med."
But like at least I made it work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it still worked out. You know what I mean?
You gotta prove it to him. You gotta prove it to him because there's I forget which comedian. He was like, "Yeah, my Asian family, they still don't believe that I'm making money telling jokes until I show them like, hey, I did this show at this huge place, or here's this huge check for 10,000. Like you have to constantly remind them that it's real.
I'm out here. I'm the shit out
here. Right. You think I'm still a failure, but I'm still alive. I'm out here getting into the bag. Yeah. Shit, crazy. But one thing I will say, since you mentioned T.I.'s son, is his other son, the lighter skin one, the like really, really lighter skin one. I don't know their names, but that kid's got like a complex, bro. Like every time I see him out, he's arguing with someone, trying to fight someone. Like he was on Instagram Live in like Waffle House telling the waiter, like, yeah, I make more than you ever make in your life. You below me, you disgust me. And like he's got a weird complex of like trying to be the thug that his dad was, but he lives this obviously privileged life. Like you rolling around with guns in your backpacks, talking about you smoking on your ops. Like, bro, you don't have to do this.
You smoking on what ops, nigga?
What don't ops have to do on, this. Nigga? Talking about he the hardest in the city, rolling around with guns and Dracos and videos. I'm just like, bro, you picked the worst part of your dad to become.
And you know what's crazy? It's a double-edged sword, and it's hypocrisy at its core, right? Because think about it like this, right? You want your kids to be as well-rounded as you are to the best of your ability, right? And you want them to be better than you, right? But you work hard to ensure that they never live the same hardships that you lived,
that made you who you are.
So now they can't have those same type of experiences because a lot of those experiences, either they were caused by financial woes, this, that, and the third.
Right, right. Up, circumstances.
Now you're up. You have a family that's up. They'll never have to sit here and eat fucking peanut butter and fluff because they had nothing else. They have to touch ramen, like turkey just because they hadn't. Like they don't have to. Like nigga, I know this little nigga in here when he ready to eat his food, bro. Like he gonna be like, yo, dad, like I'm gonna make you a peanut butter jelly sandwich. She's like, nigga, nah.
Word.
He's like, I want Panera, dad. I'm like, Panera, nigga.
Word. Chick-fil-A. My niece and nephew is like that now. They raised on Chick-fil-A. I'm like, damn, y'all getting the premium of fast food. Like
nigga, we had such a young age. We told our parents we want McDonald's. I was like, you got McDonald's money? Be like,
for damn. Real. Nigga, we used to go to White Castle with $7 and get like
but White Castle
burgers and
White Castle is fire.
White Castle is fire if you don't care about yourself. That's when it's
you bullshit. Awesome. Not you see, that's that disrespect.
I'm talking because listen, when you drunk, when you high, when you on all kind of substances and you don't care about yourself or the people around you, you enjoy White Castle.
No, that's not true. That's bullshit.
Just saying.
White Castle is for cultured people. I'm telling you.
Culture? What culture is that?
The culture of niggas that know. Nigga,
that's
White Castle is a delicacy, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You sleeping on White Castle.
I mean, I fuck with the chicken rings, but that's it. That's all they about to get me for, bro. That's all they about to get me for. And with that being said, if you love and care about yourself, then welcome. This is episode 33 of the I Hate It Here podcast. It's your boy Russ.
And this is your boy Kev.
And we are back once again. Super
Hold up.
consistent.
Before we
3.
start the show, I just want to say happy anniversary to my
to
my girl.
Round of applause.
2 years.
2 years. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's a great starting time. You guys still building the whole family, a little Kodak picture family.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, those families that be in the picture frame when you buy them.
I wanted, like, I think she won a contest one time, and they would do a family portrait for us for free.
That's dope.
But the problem was this: they wanted a deposit of like $300. I was like, "What the fuck? Why am I gonna pay deposit for something you give
for something free?" Right.
And then the shit was like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So it's like I have to travel 2 hours just for you to take my fucking deposit. Just to we ain't really. But they were do some dope shit. But I think at some point we will do a fan. I think it'd be nice at least once or twice a year to have at least something professionally done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like if we do it in my house because I got the green screen. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say you can do it yourself and just. Put it into Canva or whatever other software, and they'll touch it up and get it back to you. But on Groupon, they have those. Like I don't know if you had a Target by you, but Target sometimes will do holiday pictures.
Oh yeah,
or like Easter pictures or Christmas pictures. Like if you go on Groupon, they give you coupons for those.
Coupons,
yeah. You know me, I'm all about a deal, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Shout out to you guys. You know, beautiful couple. I was just telling them, my coworker, like even in my lifetime, I haven't seen many like positive adult relationships.
That's some fucked up shit, bro.
It's crazy. Listen, I had to really count, and I'm just like, wow, I feel like I only know 2 people who are in productive relationships that are not toxic and benefit each other and they love each other and all of that shit. I'm just like, wow, through my whole life, only 2 people. And that's currently in my adulthood. So it just started.
You know what's crazy it's that like, you say that, right? A lot of us have the same experience where like when you coming out of like single family homes, you don't see that shit. Like, and the thing, it's a generational curse. It is true. And like you have to be the one to take the reins to break it if you really want to break it, right?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of times when I look at myself, right? Like I think about, my mom, my dad, like they split up and like that was like crazy disgusting. Like that whole situation was just wild, right?
Rough process.
And then I look at like, my sister and her relationships, and then me fucking around with that dumbass bitch.
Okay, all right. I want to get to the episode where you could mention it and it just not just set you on fire, nigga.
No, I'm not on fire. I'm just saying, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. Listen. I'm not as mature as I think I am. I'm not. Kendrick said the same thing. When Kendrick said that, I was like, you know what? I feel that. You know what I'm saying?
We all want to think we'll take the high road when it comes down to it, but sometimes we
don't. And I'm not, and that's just me, dog. That's just me. But what I'm saying is like it takes a while to get to a point where you're like, when am I going to be the difference, not only amongst my family, but for myself? You know what I'm saying? And like sometimes it takes a lot of self-reflection, a lot of inner work. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, I had to work a lot within me, a lot. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Even where
makes sense
with her and the kid in the house, like I used to be so by myself. I used to be so inside, but I had to learn to open up and work through it. It takes a lot of work to build a relationship, and there's a lot of habits that you got to get out of yourself. Because when you sit in there in survival mode, you pick up all types of crazy ass habits.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So like when you get to a point where like you are now healed past a certain point and you find somebody that you gel with, and then you sitting here, you're like, yo, this is like crazy. You're like, I'm bored as fuck because I'm not arguing every time with some dumb bitch. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like she's on her
gotta find different forms of communication because y'all not screaming at each other. It's just like, oh, I can actually talk to you. So
like I can actually look at you and be like, hey, you did something I didn't like. and you're like, oh, well, I apologize. This is the reason. I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. But she's like, no, like, how can I do something different, whatever. Like, you solve problems. You solve problems. You don't create more problems. That's a beautiful thing. Shout out to all
Yeah.
the happy couples out there, and fuck all you
Facts.
toxic ass niggas and bitches.
They just
All
need to
right.
learn because we all. It's like they say women go through a whole phase. I think men go through a whole phase too, but then we also go through like a toxic phase where it's just like I'm gonna flex all this toxic energy and all these
It
bad
takes
habits I
one. It
learned.
takes the wrong person.
Yeah,
It
oh
takes
yeah.
the. It
It's like
takes the
hitting the it's like
wrong person.
flipping a trigger in you, and it's just like, oh, word, now you gonna do me like that? All right, now I'm gonna fuck over everybody I meet for the next 2 years until
And
I
you know
feel
what's
better about
crazy?
myself.
It all starts because you, both of y'all, like this. You know what it is? When the sex is great, you try. It's
Yeah,
rose-colored glasses, bro. You just
yeah,
don't give a
yeah.
fuck, right? And
We
then
could look
after a
past a lot of
while,
things.
it chips at you, right? And
Hmm.
then it's like a fucking needle in your spine, and you're just like, oh my god, what the fuck is this bitch doing? And
Right.
you just like, yo, you just then it's all hell breaks loose.
It's
But even then, like this was my situation, right? Like you love somebody, you watch your parents break apart with all this arguing. You want to try to fix the situation. You want to try to fix the person. You can't fix nobody. If somebody
nah.
wants to be a dumb motherfucker, do the dumbest shit, and show mad disrespect towards you, and do a whole bunch of shit, you ain't not you telling them. If you told them, the best apology is change behavior. If they ain't
Facts.
changing the behavior, nigga, they don't flying fuck about you. So get the fuck
That's
out of there. But sometimes
that's
it's hard
facts.
because
That's
you want to hold
facts.
on because you've seen people just lose people, arguments. People weren't compatible, but you're just like, nah, I'm gonna hold on to you till my dying fucking breath.
Right.
And then that bitch leave you on your deathbed, and you're like sitting in the corner of your bed in the fetal position, crying at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you just
God
sitting
damn.
there. Nigga, listen, I've been there, bro. I've been there. All
I
right.
feel you. It sucks to invest a lot into someone or anything in general that doesn't have not even the payoff you want, but no payoff, like at all. Like you feel like you were just emptying
You're
into a
shattered.
like you were pouring into a cup that had no bottom. And it's just like when you finally went to drink, you were just like, wow, not one sip was saved in this cup. All the shit I poured into this cup. But that's that's
That's the
that's
long road. That's the long road.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because once you do find that person to where you're pouring into a cup that has a bottom and it's filling, and then you drink that cup and that cup is good for you, nutritious, and it's
Mm-hmm.
tasty for you, you realize, wow, I want to continue to drink this and I want to continue to pour into this so that I can continue
Mm-hmm.
to drink this and feel, you know, nutritionalized or whatever the fuck the word
Yeah,
is. But
100%.
you see what we're saying. So yeah, shout out to you and your beautiful queen. Again,
Thank
shout
you.
out to
Shout
my
out to you and
cousin.
your beautiful queen too.
Hey man, we all fighting this battle day to day, living this life, and
Mm-hmm.
we're social creatures, and I feel like we are meant to do it with someone, not someone in our corner, but yeah, again, shout out to my cousin and his beautiful wife Amanda. I always look to them as like what what a real couple should do. They've been high school
Mm-hmm.
sweethearts, they got married,
Oh,
they
those are
got
the best.
they
Yo,
really got a
think, cause
real
think
bond,
about
and you
it.
can see that just
Think
by
about it like
just
this,
on the
right?
outside looking in. Hmm.
You know how many bitches that nigga could have fucked? Have you seen
Probably
the
a
bitches
lot,
out here?
probably a lot.
Have you seen? Listen, have you seen the bitches that we
No,
used to be around?
I can only imagine that he's a handsome dude. He's a smart dude. He's a charismatic. He's the dude that's like grilling and smoking meats and stuff I was telling you about. So
Mm.
yeah, my man got skills. So
To
fellas,
sit there
get you some skills out here. Women like men with skills. Yeah, bow
and
hunting skills, staff
and
skills,
yeah.
fishing. No, that's Napoleon Dynamite. But you know what I'm saying.
Nah, you
Get
like
some
you gotta
skills.
have some skills, have some hobbies.
Right.
Actually be a human being. Don't just be like
Facts.
a fucking
Fucking robot.
statue and she like you know what I'm saying? Like she can program you any way she want to, all because she
Right.
wants a pussy, nigga. Like actually be a human being and be yourself, bro. Like
Yeah, these
and
days, bro.
also do not listen. There was many times in the past, right? Like
Mhm.
you date people and like you have an interest and they shit on your interest every single time. Listen,
Oh
do
my
not
god,
allow
I hate
people. Do not allow people to kill your interest
what
in
you
what you like.
enjoy. Facts.
If they keep making it an issue, guess what? Make
They are
end
the
that
issue, not
magazine subscription and get the fuck up out of it, bro.
facts. Nah, real talk. That's happened to me. And I feel like not in the last couple years, but maybe like in the middle of my lifetime, there was a switch with black people in anime. Because when I was younger, if you used to watch anime as a black kid, you were weird or you were like childish or you had like some weird sex thing you just want to see when it had nothing to do with that. But like now it's cool if you're in an anime. They're like, oh, what's your black people are cosplaying, black people are creating their own animes and writing fan fictions. But like back in the day when I was into that shit, I'm rushing home to watch Toonami. Chicks was like, this nigga is weird. This nigga is fucking on some cartoon shit. Like,
you like cartoons, bitch? I'll stab you. Like,
you said that too calm. I will stab you.
Nah, cause fam, it just irritates me. Like, I'm a gamer, right? And it's just like, there have been several times in my life when people like, they'd be like, oh, you play games? Oh, you probably still live at your mom's house. Bitch, yes, I still do. What the fuck does that got to do with anything? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, fam, they just try so hard to tear you down and shit. And it's just like irritates me so much now. Not everybody's a fucking gamer. Every bitch is a fucking gamer. Every motherfucker love anime now. And I'm sitting here like, oh, y'all gonna apologize to the people that you sat here and tortured just because of what they like? Obviously, they're not going to do it. And so, like, all right, well, fuck you niggas then. This is why I stay in the house and I don't talk to nobody. I can't have no new friends. Fuck y'all niggas.
I feel you. I heard that a lot. Like, just playing fucking Pokemon or watching Dragon Ball Z or
like, bro,
drawing. Now, I used to draw my own like comics and shit. It's just like, damn, bro. Like, a nigga can't have no kind of skillful enjoyment without.
I was so scared.
Someone shitting on him.
I was so scared to have like anime stickers and pins on my stuff, bro. One day I was like, fuck it, bro. I just started small. I got a few stickers and I put it on my water bottle, put it on my laptop. Now, like my bag I wear to work, it got all types of fucking anime pins on there and shit. I'm like, yo, I am finally comfortable being what I am. You know what I'm saying? It's just
but look how long it took. Look how long it took though. Like, just not even off anything you did or chose. It's just the world. The world tried to like box you into whatever the fuck it was at the time. And it took you 30, 20 something some odd years. So now these kids added to the internet to where like before it was just people in your neighborhood, people you've seen physically could say some weird shit to you or make you feel weird. But now it's the whole fucking world collectively on the internet. And these kids is running around all confused and shit. So again, I fucking hate it here. I feel for these kids, man. I really do.
Oh yeah, I do too.
I feel for these kids.
And at the same time, fuck them kids. All right. What we got?
Let's get into some. I know. Let's get into some bullshit. I don't have a ask Reddit question this week, but I did see this question that was on like some article or something. It was like a forum, so I figured I'd ask you and see where we could go from there. It's just like, and I don't want to get too political, but given the political state of this country, this great country of America, and the past it's had, and I guess the future you could see it having, like, who do you want as president? Who can you see as president now going forward? Like, we've had Trump. We've had a non-compliant geriatric individual by the name of Joe Biden. So it's like, who do we have next? Like, from a reality star to a sleeping Uncle Bernie's corpse. Like, where do we go?
I don't know. I think it's only gonna get worse if niggas don't get their head out their ass, bro. Like if niggas like listen, if we can get a competent politician,
they ain't gotta be so far-fetched now.
They ain't gotta be perfect, right? I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm not asking you to be super left. Definitely don't be super right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just need somebody who's going to sit there and be like, look, I'm gonna do what I can. When I need to move, I'm gonna make the move. And we need somebody who's gonna sit here and respect the fact that we are humans and it doesn't matter where we're from. We can't have somebody who won't sit there and be like, oh, these motherfuckers coming from these shithole countries. You're the president of the United fucking States. This country was built on immigrants. The fuck is you talking about, my nigga? And then we can't have somebody who's sitting there and like he's so administrative. All his move is behind the scenes. All we hear is you talking about, I'm writing the plans, I'm writing the plans, I'm writing the plans.
Right.
But where's the motherfucking action, my nigga? You just
I'm
sitting
making a
there.
plan to make a plan. I'm forming a committee to review making a plan to think to make about another taking option. Right. It's just like, Jesus Christ, bro. You're gonna die before you even get any shit passed because you like 87 or whatever the fuck and a half. So it's like,
and the thing is, like, Democrats when the Democrats are frustrated with this nigga too, because they're like, fam, what are you doing? Like, you're not playing the field the way that we expect. Like, we wanted somebody who was more politically involved than Trump was.
Who's gonna get to it?
Nigga, you have the experience. You already was here under Obama. And like this, you know, you can say whatever you want about Obama. He wasn't perfect either. All these drone strikes, all these other things, like there's a lot of shit that he failed at, but there's a lot of shit that he got to do too. And it helped out, and it helped out a couple of people, right? Listen, everybody say what they want about Trump. Yeah, he a piece of shit or whatever, but he did do some things, you know, that made some things a little bit easier in certain places.
He was active in the process. Even when he was saying or doing the wrong thing, you could see Trump was active in the process. Like this man is a living corpse that is just a human body dragged from one meeting to another meeting. Like they zoomed in on one of Joe Biden's cue cards. It literally had like pause and breathe, look into the camera, smile.
No, I'm like, stop playing.
This dude is an android. Like, he has to be told to breathe and to look and smile. Like, and that's the thing. So it's like,
you sure that was real?
They zoomed in on his hand, bro. It was in his hand of like, look into the camera, smile and breathe. Like, bro, it's bad. But that was my thing. It's like, so we've got a reality star who was literally had no government knowledge with Trump. And then we get this professional sidekick, which is Joe Biden, who literally only comes through to like, hey, over there, like just do shit like that. Where do we go next? Do we go younger? Because this man is 80 fucking like
we
99 billion.
Yo, all of these old, there should be an age limit for president, for Senate, for House, like
you would think,
for governors, all this thing. None of these 80-year-old niggas know anything about what a nigga like, and not even just a nigga,
not even
but like a person
modern society,
our age in a modern society, nigga. When you got niggas on the Supreme Court talking about, oh yeah, we should roll back homosexual, homosexual. Then what? You gonna roll back interracial too, my nigga?
That was like, the thing. It was like, is that next?
Like, my nigga, like, yo, like, you gotta get your head out your damn ass, bro. Because times are changing. You gotta move with it. You gotta change with your people. Now, does that mean not everybody that, you know, you're not gonna find people who kind of keep the same thoughts and traditions? No. But you gotta understand, now you gotta move into a place of like understanding. Like, you gotta understand,
be more progressive.
Be more progressive. Things change. Give them a chance. Let them have rights. Gay people should be getting married, bro. Women should be having abortions if they want it. Like, all these things are freedoms, bro. Like, you keep chipping away at their freedoms. You want this to be America. You want this to be the American dream. Let me tell you something right now. I can't believe we got this mad political. The American dream is fucking dead. Okay. It's fucking dead.
It might be a different dream though. I don't know if it's dead.
Nigga, if it's not even a dream, it's in a coma because we can't see where the fuck we're going.
Because this, but, and I only say it's not the same dream because you can make it like, say you come from this country from Thailand, you know, you ain't have nothing in Thailand. You could come over here be a Uber driver, be something, and you could still have the bare minimum, but you'll still have more than you would have in a third world country. That's what I'm saying. The dream is not white house, big white house, white picket fence anymore. It's like just surviving. Like the dream is just to survive
But
now.
why is that? But why just to survive, bro?
My thing was, in this country, they put money in front of everyone, but then you take away people's rights as if those things don't generate money too. Like with abortion, like that helps the medical system. Like that's another bill they can bill your medical insurance, and that's another copay you'll have to pay, and then you'll need aftercare. Like that generates money, that gives people jobs. So I thought this country was more about money, but now it's like
It's
the
about
religious
control, my
yeah
nigga.
that religious control factor is starting to pick up more. So now it's like, who do we want to
And we
run this
have
country now?
separation of church and state. Your religious
Separation.
ideals should not be affecting the lawmakers.
You
Every place is like this. So I don't understand these niggas, right? But
It's
this is why I
different,
say the
bro.
American dream is dead, because
Separation.
it's supposed to be about freedom. It's not about freedom anymore. Every single time they're taking away little by little, then you got to start watching closely exactly what they're taking away. You gotta follow the thread all the way from one end all the way to the other end.
Just to mention, just to piggyback off that, the past couple of weeks I've just been seeing all these laws that are changing now after the Supreme Court did the Roe v. Wade thing. So now in Arizona, it's illegal to video record police. It's illegal. So only thing we'll have to go on now is body camera footage. So even if there is a crime and they turn off their cameras and you video record it in court, it will not be admissible because it is illegal to video record police now in Arizona. Why is that? Like, why is that?
Pay the fuck attention, people. There's always one. They always take the most
The biggest thing.
and this is why I don't like Republicans and Democrats. They're all the same, because like the left side has taken these issues and pushed them to the forefront without realizing there's other issues at hand that's directly attacking our everyday freedoms. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? But I don't know, man. Like when it comes to president, nigga, fuck all them niggas, bro. Like,
I know, yeah. It just had me on a deep dive. I was thinking, like, damn, who do we want? Do we want another reality star? Do we want like The Rock? Should Kevin Hart run for president now? Like,
and the fucked up thing is,
do
like,
we get more crazy with it?
Trump wasn't afraid to push the button with anybody, right? For example, A$AP Rocky got locked up in like Switzerland or whatever, right? The Swiss prime minister came out, I think a week ago, was like, yo, Trump told me that if I didn't let this nigga go, basically he hit us with sanctions. He's like, I'm about that lifestyle right now. All right, cool. But now we've had Brittany Griner in Russia for like the last like half a year. And nigga, she just sent a letter to Biden. And this nigga read that letter and he was like, what would you say he was like?
He was like, he finished reading that letter and was like, Brittany who? Who do I know? A Brittany? Brittany from Russia? I don't know no Brittany's. It's sad. It's really sad, and I feel for her. We spoke on Brittany Griner, way back when the story first broke, but now it's just like, I don't see. It's hard to see some hope for her anytime soon. Especially with the whole war going on over there. So I don't know. I feel for her, bro.
I do, and she just pleaded guilty to her drug charges over there.
Okay, so
she walked in the courtroom with a picture of her wife, just trying to keep it together. Even though I feel like, she could have avoided this by not bringing them shits over there. But like at the end of the day, though, it's like she should have been out by now, bro. Like the United States should have stepped in. You know what I mean? Because even the rest of the government's like, yo, she's being held. Like
what they're gonna have to do is do some third party shit. Like whoever, we need to find a country that's cool, that's still cool with Russia, which ain't many, and that's still cool with us. So we could be like, listen, we'll give you something if you get her from Russia, and then you know, make a trade like that or something. I don't know. It's just gonna have to be third party because this is a bad time. This is a bad time to be locked up over there. I feel for her, but it's like certain people should be in jail. You know, when you see people that are just like, you know, you just want to smoke a little weed, you just wanted to do some drugs, you're not hurting nobody.
You're not hurting nobody.
Shouldn't really be in jail over that. But I wanted to speak on this gentleman from Colorado who needs to be in jail. Certain people, like when you hear the crime that was committed, you're just like, oh yeah, you gotta go to jail. So just the headline. Ooh. Colorado man robs a bank while wearing his ankle monitor.
The fuck?
Yeah, so some people just ain't smart. He was out on bail for another crime that he committed or whatever. And, you know, they got him on ankle monitor, make sure they could track him, you know, so he come back to court and whatever. They don't got to go looking for him. My man was like, fuck it. I'm about to do the race. Let me just get a couple dollars before, you know, I hit the streets. And he went to rob a bank. And yeah, he had a mask, and you should see the picture. He had a mask and everything on. Like, it looked like a scene from The Town, that movie. But you got your ankle monitor on, bro. Like,
are you fucking dumb?
You didn't think this through. You didn't think this through. He was hit with another additional 10 charges, and he's still fighting charges from back on a 2006 crime. Yeah, so it's just, I just read the headline. I was just like, yeah, you gotta go to jail. There's
some
no
people
way
are
around
just
it.
mad fucking stupid, bro. Like, that shit makes no sense.
You gotta go to jail. So it's just bunch of fucking criminals out here, man. Bunch of criminals.
And speaking of somebody going to jail, I think yesterday or this week, Eric Holder, the nigga who was responsible for shooting Nipsey Hussle back in 2019, was found guilty for murder.
That was a quick, like some trials. I'm just like, I know legally you have to go through the process of being convicted and accused and all that, but it's just like we knew he did it. We knew, like,
we knew he did. We knew like 3 days later that he did it. Like,
bro, shit was crazy.
We knew who he was, where he was from, what set he claimed. Like, we knew everything.
We knew the conversation they had and everything before bro, it was just.
I actually watched the video of what happened today.
I seen it too.
And I was just sitting there, I was just like, you piece of shit, bro. Like,
fucking fucked up.
And like, I'm not really trying to speak on, like, you know, people's street shit or whatever, but like, I understand.
But you do something like that, again, you gotta go to jail. Like, there's
you have to. You don't
get to do that.
Like, you don't get to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the situation. So it's like,
it's crazy. It's
good. It's I'm happy that, you know, justice is served. I mean, it's not going to bring Nipsey back, obviously. You know, R.I.P. to Nipsey. You know, shout out to Lauren London, his kids, his family.
This
shout out to whole Cali and you know, the marathon continues. You know what I'm saying? So
this was a death that impacted a lot of people. Oh shit, a lot of people, both East and West Coast. Like, I was a huge Nipsey fan. Like, this shit had me in tears, bro. Like, you talking about fetal position in the corner crying at 3 a.m., bro. Like, and I still can't listen to some of my favorite Nipsey tracks, man. So that shit is hurt. What was worse was like this death. I feel like started to kick off like a lot of deaths, like.
And niggas in the hood,
like, shit just piled up after that.
Because think about it, like, the last couple of deaths has been like niggas just being in places they shouldn't be. Young Dolph,
facts, trouble,
facts. Like, you. Why you still, like, listen, you know, it's crazy. Like, just leave the fucking hood, bro. If you know that you was into some shit and you know, like, the consequences of your shit, just get the fuck out. Like, there's no reason to still be there. Because, like, you putting yourself at risk, you're putting your family at risk. And it's just like, fam, get your ass out. Hove ain't never going back to Brooklyn, my nigga. Not even
He
he'll go
will, but
shoot a
you'll see
music
him.
video, but
Yeah,
like
you'll see
he'll
him
have
moving like the
security,
president.
nigga.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you know what I'm
Even when he
saying?
came back, when the Barclays first opened, and he did that thing where he rode the train, like
He
he
had
was
mass
riding
security.
the whole train cart was like security, and then that like 2 or 3 random people on the train, like so it's a lot. And then what I will say is like hip hop, this is the only genre I know that does that. Like if you make it, you can't leave the hood, or you got to keep going back to where you
Or you gotta
from. Like
keep doing what you was
if
fucking
you're a
doing. It's
country
just like,
singer and you're like broken poor your whole life, you go get a mansion and you go move to some other location and then you just go live out your life. Like you don't tell like a pop
Dixie
singer.
Chicks.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell Britney Spears to go move back to whatever neighborhood she was from. But for some reason in hip hop, there's this thing where you have to go back or you have to stay, and I'm never leaving. It's just like, no, bro, you need to leave. Like sometimes you
Chief
gotta
Keef
go.
ain't
Like
been back to Chicago since, bro.
what
Why would you go
for?
back?
What I'm going back for? Like, and I understand Nipsey went back for the best reason possible. He was opening businesses, giving
Yeah.
people jobs, like trying to change the place where he grew up. But that place, you can't change what don't want to be changed, bro. And then you run into niggas like that. So go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle, man. But I'm glad that
Facts.
they got the results.
It's a wrap for that boy.
Mm.
One thing I did also want to touch on was like just because we got real political and whatnot. I want to know like what does it take for you to vote for a candidate? Like say someone is running for like not even president or not even nothing huge, like a city councilman or something. Like what does it take for you to vote for them?
They're like their mission statement. Like, why are they running? Like, what are they
their
running
platform,
for? Like,
what
their
they're
platform?
running for.
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes sense, which is usually why someone would vote for someone. But Senator in Rhode Island, Tiara Mack, black woman, of course, decided she was going to take to her TikTok page and just twerk for votes. Just twerk them out, bro. Like twerk.
You know something, dog?
Twerk for change, twerk for hope. And it only bothered me because she's on a handstand, bro. Like not even just like a bend over, I'm walking, like twerk for me, hey, like being cute, a drunk night out. She gets on a not even a handstand, a headstand. She's standing on her skull, upside down, twerking at the beach.
And at the beach in the sand.
In the sand. And then gets up and says, vote for me or don't forget to vote or whatever the fuck. So I'm just like, is this gonna convince people to vote for you? If votes is what you wanted, is this what you do?
You know what's crazy? We're in a weird place, right? Where we're trying to figure out what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, right? And a lot of
state senator, like legally for the U.S. government. Just keep that in mind.
And usually, a lot of people, when it comes, I have to talk about this in many different levels, in a few different levels, right?
You want this to make sense so bad, bro. You can't do it.
A lot of people will say, anytime a black woman does something, there's always somebody to tear her down, right? That's what people will say, right?
Granted, I understand that.
Me too. But here's the thing, though. There's a time and a place for everything.
Again, I understand that as well.
And like, you having fun is cool, but understand that like you put certain things in certain boxes, right? And not everything will be appropriate for everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, cool, you can shake that ass doing a headstand. That's dope.
Impressive, actually.
Impressive.
I can't do it. I can't stand on my head.
No,
and
I
to
can't do it
balance
either.
while you're twerking, that's actually, you got a skill. That's people.
Yeah,
Some might pay for that.
but like, you're a senator, bro. Like,
Yeah, they're saying you don't. You see, you took something like that you do with your friends, and you took it to work. That's the
yeah,
vibe I'm getting here. Like, if this was like on your private Snapchat and then they found it, okay, you was with your friends in private doing
y'all
something,
was
but
wild and not y'all was having fun. Obviously, yeah. I'm not
yeah,
expecting you to be like a fucking. I'm not saying you to be like a potato. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you're super stiff in public and you can't drink or no, like you're still a human. Like you have a job, but you're still a human. But yeah, she took this and she took something she did with her friends and then took it to work. And then I agree that Black women are teared down a lot, like for a lot of things they do, obviously, but this is not one of those things. This
Nah,
was inappropriate. This
yeah.
you shouldn't have done. This you shouldn't have.
You should. You
You
could
you
have done it.
mixed
You could have done it. It could have been a fun thing, but you brought it into your political sphere. And a lot of people will
exactly.
be like, "Well, you know, just because a woman does something, first of all, why are you sexualizing her? Shut the fuck up. Second
She
of all, they'd be like,
sexualized herself on a handstand, popping them cheeks.
second, they're going to be like, well, you don't understand that. Like, why can't somebody be themselves sexually or whatever it is and be like people are more than one thing? I'm like, yes, but shut the fuck up. Listen, um, like we need to still hold, I don't want to say modesty, but we need to still
Mhm.
hold respect for certain places and like
Standards.
and set standards for certain things because if we just let everything go, like we're just a wild society. And the
And it's
minute you
really
start letting
anarchy.
everything go, like your civilization just burns and crashes. And we're so on the tip of it.
Facts.
Like we just need to be careful and like it was fun, it was cool, but
It's per. It's
it
fine.
wasn't the right time for it.
It's fine. It's just that in our society, there are professions that we deem a little bit cleaner than everyone else in society. We just do. Like there was a teacher that students found her OnlyFans and the school fired her. Like that teacher is allowed to have an OnlyFans. That's her private thing she could do. But because
You
she's a
can't blame
teacher,
her. You can't blame her for what the students did either. That's the fucked up part
right?
about that.
It's no one's fault. It's just that in this career, what you're doing is looked down upon, so we gotta let you go. Like
Yeah.
if you went to a strip club and saw your pastor there, you'd be like, hold on, what the fuck? Like what you, well, even though a lot of pastors probably do be in the strip club,
Oh hell yeah! Of course, we all know this.
it's just like you don't expect to
Throwing
see
that
them
cleft
because
low
what they
dollar.
do for real. So being a government official, like
And
what
you know the thing,
to use this to sell your message is like, who are you speaking to exactly? Horny men? Are you trying to get horny boys to vote for you? Like twerking doesn't relay any message, other than you're dancing and having fun or you being sexual. So yeah, this just wasn't, and I hate to sound all Republican and conservative with the shit, but like this wasn't the way you get that message off, baby girl. Beautiful
nah.
girl. I'm sure she's very smart. Black woman in the
I mean,
Senate.
she's a senator. I mean, she did well
Right.
for herself. Like,
I'm
shout out
sure
to
there's,
you.
and the thing too is when there are so few of you, like how many female black senators are there really? I don't know many or can think of any off the top of my head. So when you're in that small minority group, the things you do get maximized just because you're not of the many. Like it's easier to look at the few of you. So yeah. And then on
Yeah,
top of that, it wasn't even a good twerk, baby girl. Like the handstand was impressive, but the cheeks wasn't, them things wasn't banging.
just like sitting there looking like a lobster. Anyway, so
Things
let's move
wasn't
on.
banging. But yeah, she's actually very pretty.
No,
Yeah,
she
so
is. Um, but that shit was just wild. I
a
don't know, man.
highlight.
I think for real, like we just need to get to a point where like we can accept that there's different spaces for things, and like not everything has to be in the same space. I think we can get. I think we should get to that point because
My highlight of my life these days consists of like just domestic shit. Like I told you, I've been reorganizing my room,
mm-hmm.
you know, doing laundry, going shopping, like shit like that. So what I've been doing just in my meantime when I'm not outside, just completely being a city boy, is just, binging TV, finding shit that's on TV. And when I can say that Stranger Things has got to be one of the best shows in this like past 10 years or generation of television, like I say that with full confidence, like after watching this season finale. Agree
So
or disagree?
spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it yet, I apologize, but turn this shit the fuck off.
Nah,
Thank you
fuck
for
you. That's your problem.
no, no, no. Thank you for showing
If I
up.
have to, if I had to dish and dodge spoilers on the internet for like 4 days straight, then that's on you.
Anyway, thank you for being here. This is not for you. We'll see you next week. Love you. But for those who don't give a fuck about spoilers and who actually seen it, that shit was definitely a masterpiece.
Fucking
Um,
fire. Putting
the
all
whole
the episodes together now, just even
Vecna
better.
is one of the dopest like villains I've seen. Like to watch that whole situation play out when she was Nina and like going through all that whole shit, and you actually seeing how everything started. You know what I'm saying? And then not to get to the finale when he's responsible for the mind flare. Like,
This is the question I had though. I'm still sketchy on. When 11 pushed Vecna or one through the portal, did she create the upside down or she just opened the door to the upside down?
she opened the door.
Okay. Okay, so she pushed him in and then he sent the mind flare?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay, so
Yeah.
I thought the mind flare was the boss,
because he drew it as a kid, right? Because he was psychic.
I remember that at the table.
I was talking to my girl about it, and she was like, "Well, I don't think he created it. I think what he had an idea for something, right? And he thought he was connecting to it. So when he actually went there and he saw like the hive mind, he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna form it and give it a mission and give it a purpose.
Right, make it into what I thought or the idea I had. But yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. I'm watching so many deep dives on just like all the things that can happen. But listen, when I tell you I cried, I shed that one real nigga tear. Like
R.I.P. Eddie, bro.
Oh man, Eddie too. But when Vecna grabbed Max,
oh man, tore her shit up, bro.
Oh
man, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't expect her to be survive. I didn't expect her to survive at all.
I hope so, but then all right, so this is what fucks me up. The whole sequence, like he grabbed her, she goes into the air, her arm breaks and her leg breaks, but that's it. And then she falls, whatever happens, and then Lucas grabs her and she's still alive. So I'm like, okay, maybe she'll just heal up, but she'll be alive. See. But she's blind. Now she's blind. And even then I'm like, oh man, this is hurtful, but okay, she can still make it. She still dies. She still dies. Like, what the fuck? You've done enough to me. You've done enough. But what ended up happening? 11 brought her back?
Yeah, she was like, you're not going now.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not gonna let you go. No, but later in the episode,
she's in a coma. She went in there and she can't see her.
She's not in her own body, like in her own consciousness. Like
I don't think she's gonna wake up. I don't think she's gonna wake up.
It's gonna be like such a stretch to see like how she can, like, where would 11 have to go in her mind to find her and bring her back? That's a whole nother storyline. But yeah, that shit got me fucked up. And Lucas fighting the jock in the
you saw that nigga get torn apart when the fucking hold on. First of all, like
when
they was fighting like motherfuckers, bro.
They weren't fighting. Lucas was getting his ass whooped. Yeah. He wasn't. He was just like
how he looked. You saw how he looked.
He was getting whipped around the room. He looked like Martin off that boxing episode. His face was lumped up. he was getting whooped all around the room. Like my man was whooping his ass from the window to the wall. Like, god damn.
Yeah,
Like
he
I
was
know
getting his
you're a
ass tore
nerd,
up, bro.
but
He
you
was getting
ain't
his ass
defend
tore up.
yourself.
Nah, he was getting his ass
But
tore
yeah,
up.
when Vecna
The
did kill
crack
Max
opened
and the portal opened,
and it
it
went right through him.
It ripped the jock in half, bro. So cool, so cool. But what I can say now is after that happened and you saw all of, like the flakes start coming down, like that are in the upside down, I think now the barrier between the upside down and the world is like breaking, or it's real thin, or something's happening. That gate is permanently open through that crack.
Yeah.
So now the whole town is the upside down. So you can see when they were coming back into town, everybody was leaving. Everybody was getting the fuck out of town. So again, this can open up for a huge spinoff of just people in town that decided to stay in town and are living in the upside down.
Yeah. And so they did say season 5 will probably be the last season.
That's great, because I thought this was going to be the end.
Yeah, I thought this
and
was
then
the end too.
When this ended, I was like, this can't be the end. They left more. Now I need to know more. So it's like
so now they're gonna, and they said even if we're done with this series, we're not done with the franchise. So
did you see the creators are now making a live action Death Note?
Yes. And I think this is going to be fire. I think this is
whoever made that other Death Note for Netflix
is a piece of shit. Fuck them. I don't even want to discuss them.
Why don't they do something else? It's like, you already tried Death Note. Do something else.
I mean, if they feel
like
so
many great animes that are still coming out, like old and classic, that you can choose.
I would have liked to see him do Tokyo Ghoul.
That would be cool too. Or Hunter x Hunter, or My Hero Academia live action would be dope.
Nah, I think it has to be horror. I feel like they got their hand in the horror bag, so they have to get either that or oh my god, it just blanked on me. Hellsing.
And they got a lot of options, but I guess
that's the vampire one. That one's fire. I'm actually gonna start watching that again tonight. But that's just fire.
What I will say though, too, just last Stranger Things. Oh no, I guess you had some other.
Yeah, because there was some things that came up that I like. I'm like, really?
Wait, really quick. I just want to say I love that reunion scene at the end. Like, that shit warmed my heart when everyone finally clicked back up. That was great. But go ahead, go
off. So there was an article. So as you know, Will Byers had possibly 2 of the most heartfelt moments in the finale, right? The first scene is when he's in the car with Mike and Jonathan's, watching the conversation. And then, Will is talking to Mike, telling him things from Elle's perspective. And then, like, after he's done, like, it's so powerful. Like, he starts crying. Dude, I almost cried. I ain't gonna lie. That shit almost had me tearing.
It was so like,
oh my god. I was like, yo, it was from my heart. I was like, yo, these niggas are on point with the writing. I'm like, this is how you add complex situations to the same plot line and not feel forced. I was like, this shit right here, because everything matters. It's like, yo, Mike's worried about his relationship with Elle. And he's just like, I gotta save her, but at the same time too, like, what's gonna happen afterwards once we pass this, right? Because in their minds, they already know they're gonna get past this shit.
But it's just fighting and figuring it out. Yeah, another battle.
And for like that moment between them, and then Jonathan and Will's moment when they're at the pizza spot.
Yeah. That I liked, because it was like a brother, like, comforting his little brother, like, listen, kid, I know we've been through a lot, but listen, I'm still your big brother. I got you. Like, I'm gonna love you, whatever. But yeah, the scene with Will and Mike was just weird. Like, because, like, you could see Mike was concerned with Elle, but Will was concerned with Mike, and then Elle was concerned, especially in the earlier in the season, like, she was trying to be normal, and then when she beat that girl with that fucking
that girl deserved
skate,
that
bro.
shit, though. She deserved
I was
that
like,
shit.
finally, you lucky I only hit you with the skate. Like,
yeah,
she put her hand out for to do the powers. She would have blew her little mind off, but luckily she didn't have her powers at the time.
Yeah. So there was an article in Vulture by this man named, well, I don't know what he is, Jason Frank. So basically, I'm gonna tell y'all the title of this article. Did Will Byers come out in Stranger Things finale an investigation?
An investigation.
But this really wasn't an investigation. This was somebody writing an article because they were pissed because Will Byers didn't come out. One of the lines that he said in the article was like, they need to fix this as soon as possible before it fucks up the story, right? And
you're not the writer, sir. You don't know what's fucking up the story. The story was phenomenal, but regardless. But how can you say just because this one character didn't do this one thing you wanted for good reason you don't know yet? Like next season, that could be a bigger thing to go on. But is this guy in the LGBTQ community?
So. I think so because because they were saying how representation is important, and I'm like, I can give him that point, but and so like I was sitting there, I was like, well, I talked to my girl about it, and then she was like, the way she saw it was he's dealing with PTSD. He's dealing with a disconnect from the people that he loved so much. These were his best friends since kindergarten.
I can imagine.
And all this other shit. So now you get kidnapped. All your friends bonded trying to find you. Now you feel like you're more out of the group because you feel like you always got to be saved by them because they was making moves. And you're trying to find that nucleus again. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to find that camaraderie with them. And you just feel like you moved across the country before you could feel like you were fully established. And you just feel so alone, right? So she's like, yo, like he's dealing with PTSD with a situation that he can't talk to nobody about,
right? Or even make sense of. Like, what the fuck? I got kidnapped by a demonic entity from another dimension. Like,
what therapist? They gonna throw you in the nut house, bro?
Right. No, I get what you're saying because the first season was him being kidnapped and everyone bonded together over him and saved him. Then the second season was him sort of being possessed and then everyone rallying around him to remove the possession and then fight back through it. So I get that they've always been connected, but now in high school with all them sort of branching out and separating and not being connected,
the identities, he's still trying to fill that void that he feels from the time that he was gone.
My only pushback is it seems to be directed towards Mike and not any other character, like he, other than that heart to heart with Jonathan in the pizzeria, there's been no attempt at him like reaching out to anyone else other than Elle for those first couple episodes when they were in school. Like, so that's why it seems targeted to Mike, because it seems like Mike is the only one he's confiding these feelings to, and then those feelings come off like, okay, bro, like when he was like 11 can't talk to you, she needs to be able, it's just like, are you in this relationship or am I, and is she, so
I think how I see that's a good point. I think how I would like respond to that is Mike's the one in front of him right now.
Okay.
That's just how the story was. You know what I'm saying? They were split up. But he was also saying these things when he was with them. You know what I mean? When they were younger. And I think when they got to high school now, like Mike, he said, like, yo, you was writing all these letters to Elle, but you never wrote anything to me. Like, I'm your best friend, bro. Like, what's going on here? Sure. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, though, I feel like the other two guys probably were writing to him. If they weren't, then that's something that he would address with them person. Because Will Byers, I feel like he's a sensitive kid. He it's understandable. He's been through a lot. Like he's not going to sit there and labor, because the thing is though, he felt like his burden was on everybody, right? So he's not going to put the burden on everybody's flaws on that one person. He's going to deal with that one person one-on-one, because he's like, I'm talking to you, so I'm gonna deal with our issue here, then I'll move on to the next people when I see him. And I also think, him being with Elle, like he's seeing how much effort she's putting in trying to be normal so she can be like Mike. And then like he connects with her because he's also trying to do the same thing with all of them.
To be normal, right? And this fucked up shit that happened to me.
Him and Elle have that same, like, I am out of place here with the rest of y'all. So when he's saying these things to him, it looks like, like this, we are two people who don't know what we are, don't understand why everything is happening, and we're in a situation where we have to fake the funk while also trying to figure out what the fuck is going on within ourselves and around ourselves. And we got to understand that we can be a trigger for something at any given moment. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. So Elle and Will are the only two ones that share that and can understand that. The other dudes, like they handle a lot of shit, but like they haven't been touched by that world. They haven't been affected by that world.
It's like on the outside. It's on the outside. All their issues are external to where 11s and Wills have the internal issues, and they're trying to communicate that. That also makes good sense. That it makes a lot of sense. But I feel like now that the LGBT community has grasped onto it, it's you won't hear that, like, because that's a great dive too. But now it's about him coming out, and none of this is about PTSD or what he might have gone through, or hasn't seen his mom, hasn't seen his brother in the longest, and finally gets to reconnect at the end. It's just like, wow, all the familiar people that this kid knew while he was going through this is like, he's either losing them or they're nowhere in sight. So and
again, then when you come back, they changed, and they're kids. Facts. And the thing, she made a good point. She was like, just because a dude is sensitive and he's expressing himself, and he may have more feminine traits about him, he may have a softness about him, right? I don't know if that's the right word to say. It doesn't mean that like he's gay. It doesn't mean that. He's trying to connect. PTSD, he's going through a lot. He needs that connection with his friends. And I think, how you have a group of best friends, right? There's always that one person that you click with. Like, you click with everybody, but there's that one person that you click with. More. And it's like him and Mike, they would too. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, obviously he's going to go to him, and like there's certain feelings and stuff, because he has a lot on his chest. He wants to tell this nigga, but at the same time, he doesn't want to be a burden. And that's the same way that Elle feels. That's why the whole thing. But also, I can understand though the other side of it. Here's the issue though. How you going to be mad? First of all, this thing is set in the 1980s. You got to think about the culture back then and how like the LGBTQ was viewed back then. It was hard for somebody to come out back then, right? Especially when you were a kid that really don't know what the fuck going on, right? That's the number one thing. Number two thing is this. If you are a person who understands that coming out is hard, why are you sitting there angry because they didn't come out when you did? Right. When you wanted them to.
Their timeline didn't suit your needs. Like,
so you want them to out themselves before that they're ready. You're fucking wilding.
For you, that's it's selfish. That's why I had to ask if this author is someone in the LGBT community. Like, I get it. They're looking for some sort of representation, but you can't say that the author or the show is doing something wrong because you perceive a character to be gay, but that character hasn't confirmed or outed themselves in your timely manner that you agree with. So it's
the thing is though, a lot of people who are mad, like, y'all didn't even come out when you wanted to. So now you're going to be mad at a character that's
a fictional character on a show.
A fictional character that's literally dealing with the end of the world. To sit there and as far as they know. about them. Every single moment these kids had, they were repairing the relationships that were broken because of the distance, because of them growing, the growing pains of, being a teenager, going through all of these things amongst a small group. Like, you're facing the government, you're facing governments, you're facing a whole different world, you're facing
Militaries.
monsters,
I know.
militaries, everything. And like, you still have to try to hold that childhood bond that you have and stuff. Like,
And
they're
be a
going through a
kid.
lot, and they fixed a lot of these things. You know what I mean?
It's a
Shut the
great
fuck up and
show,
let them
bro.
write the story.
It's a great show. The
And
art.
even then, what's his name? The dude who plays him, Noah Schnapp. So Will's
Mm.
sexuality has been in question since season one. I don't know why. He was
Season
like,
one.
yes. So he made
They
an
were like
IG
8
post.
years old.
He made an IG post and he was like, "Yo, I just want to ask a question. Why is his sexuality so important to this story? It
These are
has nothing to do
children.
with the story." He's like, "Yo, at the end of the day, he's like, I hope they never tell you the truth, because at the end of the
Facts.
day, the
It
story is
doesn't
a
matter.
story.
It
There's
makes
something
no
bigger
fucking
in the
difference.
story. Plus, the Duffer
Season
brothers,
one.
the Duffer brothers are writing real relationships, right? Like Millie Bobby Brown, right? She made a comment where she was like, "There's too many people on the cast. Couldn't take a group picture because there's like 50 of us, and it's because the
I
Duffer
said that
brothers
too last
are
season.
sensitive Sallies, and like they don't want to kill nobody. We should be more like Game of Thrones, right?" And then the
I wouldn't say
dudes,
that. I would
the
say
Duffer
that.
brothers came back. They say, "Yo, we heard our comments." And it was like, "Look, first of all, we're not Game of Thrones. Second of all, you have to understand, if we kill somebody off, we have to be able to write in the story how those consequences affect people. Look how Barbara died. Look how the other
And fuck with
homeboy died.
Nancy for a long time
And
after
fuck
Barb
with
died.
Nancy. Like,
That's
even
how
when
Vecna
Vecna
got her
grabbed her,
now. Because Barb.
when you kill Max's brother off, like you
Billy.
see what she had to
What
confess.
it Yeah, yep. But that's why
Like
I
they
say this is written so well. The arc is like full
Mhm.
circle. Everything, all the issues that characters have had are not just gone by the wayside. It's not like a cartoon where a character will die in one episode, the next episode everyone's fine, and like, no, these niggas is living with that shit. Like,
Yep.
so they have to deal with it, and you
They have to
see.
be selective, because like you have to understand, like, these deaths have stories behind them. There are
Mhm,
consequences. Yes,
real
it's a
life
show,
shit.
but we're trying to show you how all of these things can still be connected and how it can affect these individuals. So like,
Don't.
we can't just kill people, kill people, kill people. Like,
Yeah,
it
not
does
Game
it
of
like
Thrones. I would never say that.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work out. So
One
like,
thing
they
I
know
will
what they're
say,
doing. They know what they're doing.
obviously, it's been working so great, and I can't wait for the next season, whenever that
Mm-hmm.
is, and the spinoff. But one thing I can say is the cast is too big. I felt like the cast got too big when they started adding. What's the lesbian friends that was with Steve? She's always
Oh,
talking.
is it Daphne? It's not Daphne, is it? Is it Daphne?
Her, like, I feel like she could have died this season. Um, the what is it, Dimitri? That's with Nancy, the Russian guy, the comic
Oh,
relief guy.
oh,
he
yeah,
he
yeah,
could have he
yeah.
could have died this season. There could have been more deaths, but I get what they're saying.
Robin.
Like
Yeah, Robin.
Robin, yeah, Robin,
And
she could have
then
died.
let's see who else was the other dude. Murray.
Uh,
Yeah,
Murray,
yeah,
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 yeah. I
yeah.
understand. He helped facilitate the Hopper and Nancy reconnection, but he could have died also. And then the new guy Yuri is just like, okay, well, now we're adding people to the cast now.
Yeah,
I,
but
I
the
get
thing
it,
is, I
but
don't think a lot of them are going to come back, because there's a lot of people who haven't come back either. Like, we don't have the teacher from like season one or two, the AV
well,
teacher.
they're barely in school anymore. That was when they were in
They were
school and things were
in
still
middle
going
school,
on, right?
but they were in middle school. Now they're in high school, so they switched schools. So they actually, the time progression and the way the story works out, they're going to phase out people. They're not always going to be there. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying? When you visit, because there's a lot of people that we haven't seen since, and there's people who become core. Lucas's sister, she became a
right,
core.
right.
Max
Yo,
became a
I
core.
fuck with her. I
Yo, I
fuck with
fuck with
her.
her too.
She's
And like the new
adorable.
characters that they brought, like, look at Eddie, bro. Like, Eddie to me was the best
Damn.
character hands
Super dope.
down, bro.
Even in this one season, his arc alone, like
Was insane.
this is great writing. Like this is just fucking great writing. Like from not being a hero, always being the wimp or the punk or like leading the
Running
misfits
away.
to
And now
being the
look at you,
hero.
bro.
And what's fucked up is they couldn't even save his name in the end. Like they still thought that he was like a cult leader or something. But it's good that Dustin went to his dad or his uncle or whatever and was
No,
like,
his
no,
dad. I
like
think it's his dad. Yeah.
yeah, it was like, nah, Eddie was a hero. Eddie gave his last to make sure that we could all be here today. Like, just know that shit. So I fuck with Eddie, bro. I hope that guy gets like some big roles or something off this.
I hope
Netflix will
it's
throw
yo.
him in another show.
Listen, man, he did fucking amazing. He did fucking amazing. And like with everything that's like this is what I will say. Like, I do believe in representation, but like you
Mm-hmm.
gotta allow people to tell the stories that they need to tell. Because
Can't
at the
force
end of
it.
the day, if you're writing a story and you're using real life to kind of add its own elements to it, you're gonna get to where you need to get to. And like, you know, the beautiful thing about how Stranger Things is like you can interpret that scene in many different ways. We just talked about all the different ways, and even
Yeah.
with with that angle, like there's many different ways. So now when we go into next season, now they got a job to do where they can tie up some more loose ends. They can tell more people's stories. They're gonna have to. Will's gonna have a way bigger arc in the next
Mm-hmm.
season. You know what I'm saying? So now, like when the focus is shift and now the pieces are set, now we can close out the stories. We can get the closure for a lot of the things that they need to get closure for. And I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I don't think they can fuck it up. These two dudes have been doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they're getting more stuff to do is dope.
They say it's a banger. Like it's still number 2 behind Squid Game, but that's because the whole country of Korea was watching Squid Game too. So
Yeah.
that shit ain't fair. But yeah, man, I fuck with it heavy, man. I laughed, I cried, I learned some things.
Shit hit me in my
It's
soul, man.
nigga. I, I had my glasses on, I had to take my glasses off and just let that one tear just roll freely, bro. Like, man, awesome. So yeah, if you haven't seen it already and you're still listening, then you done fucked up because we done spoiled a lot of shit for you. But if you have seen it and you enjoy it, then
The
you're in the
pizza
same
dude
boat.
was funny too.
Oh
The
yeah.
potheads.
Yeah.
That shit was dope.
Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, the whole military thing too, with the black military captain dude chasing them the whole
And the
time, and
science,
like
yo, they shot the sniper shot homeboy. He's like, pow.
Merc Papa, you're right.
Yo,
Shit
and
was
she did the
crazy.
Darth Vader, bro. She grabbed the plane and was like, what, nigga? I was
Just
like, all
smashed
right,
it.
nigga.
Yeah.
I was like,
She
all
got
right,
some
nigga.
bodies on her, like 11. Like, if we count up her body count through the couple seasons, she might be a serial killer by now.
Nigga, she's a beast, bro. And
She might be a serial
but you
killer.
know what? The best part is now her mission is set.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going. This is the fight that she needs to fight. Like
Yeah.
Vecna is the apex. Like these are two apex predators now, and one of them has to survive.
Next season is gonna be a big battle season. It's just gonna be like a bunch of
They're saying it
training
might
and
be shorter, which I hope is not true.
yeah, I saw that
Um,
article too. But when you think about it, those last 2 episodes, they were
two movies.
movies. They were
Yeah.
literally two. That was like a movie and a sequel they put out. So even if they
Mhm.
do 3 episodes,
They'll be like an hour,
three
two
whole
hours. Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
no commercials.
Yeah.
That's a strong binge session right there. So
Yeah.
shit's fire, man. Shit's fire. Got more
Mhm.
shit to watch, more music to listen to. I Hate It Here podcast. It's your boy Russ.
And it's your boy Kev.
Shit getting streamed.